As we explore the elevator guide, let's look at the dimension of collaboration. Students are collaborating when they work in pairs or groups to discuss an issue, solve a problem, and/or create a product. Collaboration is a key skill for success in the 21st century workplace. In virtually every career, people are required to work in teams to accomplish tasks that are too complex or too large for individuals to complete on their own. In the business world, new technologies have enabled a global interconnectedness that has transformed the nature of work. Real project work often requires collaboration across time and space, and between organizations. For instance, a pharmaceutical company in the US and a chemical engineering company in India may collaborate to produce a new vaccine. When we prepare students with the skills to collaborate effectively, they will be better prepared to innovate and succeed in our globally interconnected world. We often use the term collaboration to describe the simple act of working with others. True collaboration, however, requires more than individuals working together. It must also have a clear purpose. When learning activities are designed to allow students to have shared responsibility and make substantive decisions together, students learn to negotiate and resolve conflicts, agree on what must be done, distribute tasks, listen to the ideas of others and account for their own contributions, and integrate the ideas of many individuals into a coherent whole. Learning to collaborate effectively takes time. To prepare our students for college and careers in the 21st century, we should be thoughtful and purposeful about planning instruction that helps students develop the skills to collaborate with a wide range of people in many different contexts. A quick caveat: planning collaborative learning activities for the sake of having students work together is a recipe for group work, in which several disengaged students frequently allow one or two to complete the assignment. To avoid the group work trap, keep in mind two key points. Classroom activities that emphasize collaboration should have a reason to collaborate that is clear to students. If a learning task can be completed individually, collaboration has little value, and students have every reason to disengage. In other words, plan collaborative activities that require collaboration. Another thing to recognize is students need to know that effective collaboration is a learning goal, similar to their learning of content. Regularly communicate 21st century learning goals to students by teaching and coaching collaboration skills and by incorporating them into assessments and rubrics. The dimension of collaboration consists of 4 levels of competencies. As you look at each competency, notice that everything witnessed in collaboration is demonstrated by the students with a sense of purpose. Our first stop is at Level 1 competency, where students are required to work in pairs or groups. When teachers require students to work in groups, there is evidence of collaboration. For example, in these learning activities, there is definitely a difference between whole group interaction and working in groups. Look at them closely and you will see the commonality with all the YES learning activity examples. Notice students have a sense of purpose to work in groups and allow conversation to work with each other on a product of learning. In the no examples, there is no evidence of discussion with other students. They are only with the teacher or whole class with no direction of working in groups. Our next stop is at Competency Level 2, where students have shared responsibility. Sharing responsibility requires that students work in pairs and groups to develop a product of learning. Key considerations to support shared responsibility include: a product of learning can be anything that demonstrates learning and understanding. It might be a response to a problem, a design, a video production, a narrative, and a verbal explanation, and so on. Students merely helping each other are not truly sharing responsibility for the product of learning. Students must collectively own the work and be mutually responsible for its outcome. And the last consideration, all participants are mutually responsible for creating the product of learning as long as everybody is responsible. In this specific example, notice that in order for it to be shared responsibility, the students are working together on a project rather than separately. The work has to be shared. Pause the video to see more yes/no examples for this competency level in the guide. As we move on to Collaboration Competency Level 3, students make substantive decisions together. In order for this to happen, students resolve important issues that will guide their work together. Substantive decisions shape the content, process, and/or product of learning to be agreed upon in a collaborative group. Let's examine this learning activity to determine if students are demonstrating making substantive decisions together. Teams of students begin preparing for a debate after being assigned roles by the teacher. As you can see, this is a no example. Students are not planning the process of their work because they are fulfilling roles assigned by the teacher. How about this learning activity? Teams of students begin preparing for a debate by deciding which side of an issue they will argue for. This is a content decision that requires negotiation and will shape the students' future work together. Therefore, this is a yes example. Pause the video to see more yes/no examples for this competency level in the guide. At our final destination in the collaboration dimension is Level 4 competency that involves students' work is interdependent. Students working interdependently undertake learning activities that will only succeed with the active participation of all group members. For work to be truly interdependent, students must depend on each other to produce an interdependent product of learning, or an interdependent outcome, such as a decision that requires information that is distributed across all students. Just like a string ensemble needs to include playing all the parts. If the ensemble is missing one of the musicians, such as the violin player, the music sounds different and is incomplete without the main melody. If you ever heard of the saying sink or swim together, this is the same idea. Each member in the collaborative group needs to contribute to the project without a single person doing all the work. To be truly interdependent, the project needs to be designed so that it will fail if all people do not contribute to their obligations. What does this look like in the classroom? Let's find out by looking at this learning activity to determine if it shows students demonstrating interdependent collaboration. A class creates a website to serve as an encyclopedia of several countries of the world. Students individually create a website to be linked to the main class website detailing the history, culture, attractions, and accommodations of a chosen country. Students are contributing elements to a coherent whole, but are not making substantive decisions together, nor are they required to strategize in any particular way. The teacher has provided the overall strategy. This is a no example. Let's look at another learning activity to see if there is a difference. A teacher asks students to plan, research, and create a website that would serve as a visitor's guide to all the countries of a region of the world. This is a yes example, because students are collaboratively planning the entire product of learning, with each accepting components of the work. The work is interdependent since each component is required for the overall success of the product, because the product includes all the countries of a region. Pause the video to see more yes/no examples for this competency level in the guide. As students are engaged in the collaboration dimension, it is necessary for them to demonstrate the lower levels of competencies to attain the higher level competency. The ultimate goal of collaborative activities in the classroom is to enable students to work together meaningfully with a clear purpose. We can see that as learning activities climb the collaboration elevator, students have greater control over their work and their work with others. Students given the opportunity to collaborate will improve their skills over time and be more likely to develop competencies at working with others that will transfer to the workplace.